Hello, how are you? Today I want to talk to you about breaking bad habits, stopping things that are habits in your life, addictions in your life that are not serving you, that you know deep inside of you, I was created for more than this. God did not create me to live this way. God did not create me to be stuck here. I want to talk to you about that and how to break that. I used to be um, controlled by alcohol. I used to literally, it was my hobby. It was what I wanted to do when I got off work on the weekend. If I was going anywhere socially, oh, haven't seen you in a while. Let's go get a drink. Or we're going to the beach. Let's get drinks. Oh, barbecue. Let's drink. It was just alcohol, alcohol. If I got invited to an event where there wasn't going to be alcohol, I thought it was like the most boring thing on the planet. I didn't know how to function like that socially without alcohol. I didn't drink by myself or anything like that. I was very like much social um, drinker, but it was horrible, life controlling. I was hungover multiple times a week, like all day hungover, like horrible. Um, and I don't do that anymore. It's been 10 years, over 10 years since I quit drinking like that and don't have any issues at all with any kind of addiction pull with alcohol. So I want to tell you just some steps and some things practically how to break um, cycles in your life if it's something like that. That was life controlling for me. I tried for so long to stop. I would literally cry. I was just miserable. Like I wanted change so bad, and it took a couple years, but I was crying out for change. I was crying out for freedom, and God answered my prayers. So that's the first step, is to cry out for freedom and help, and to recognize that there's an issue and there's a problem, right? Like if there's something that we're doing that we don't want to be doing, recognizing that there's a problem, right? So if it's laziness, if it's alcohol, that's a super common one. So it could be alcohol, it could be smoking weed, it could be uh, bad relationships, like it could be like promiscuity, like sleeping around, it could be um, you're needing that kind of. Typically, we're looking for love, we're looking for like fulfillment, and those whatever it may be is like numbing and filling that void, right? Or we're just so lack of purpose and passion that we just fall into something. We don't have any real reason that we're living, so we fall into stuff, right? So, but the first thing is to acknowledge, like there was a period of time, years, where I just was functioning like that and didn't really, I'm sure like when I was hungover, when I was like, oh, this isn't the best, but it wasn't like gnawing at me. But then it got to a point where I was like, I do not want to live like this. Like, this is not what God created me for. So getting to that point of knowing, like, I don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck anymore, stuck at a job I hate. Like, getting to the point where you acknowledge, like, this is not how I want to be living my life anymore. And just having that real thing, and crying out to God um, for change, crying out to God for help and change. That was the first thing I did, because look, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but we need a purpose higher than ourselves if we're going to achieve anything great. And I believe I'm talking to people here that want to achieve amazing things, be that a healthy, thriving family and marriage, business, healthy faith community, whatever it is, you want to achieve great things. And we can't do that by ourselves. Just like, oh, it's just me, because if you don't have God in your life, you are your God. Like whatever you think or don't think, like you are your God. And none of us are that great. We're just not. So crying out to him, crying out to God for change. It's number one. Admitting that you have an issue that you're not happy with and that you want change, whatever it might be. So, number one. Number two, get it, feed yourself with people that believe change is possible. For me, I was listening, this is back in like the end of 2011, 2012, like 2012, like 20, I'd just say right around there, like 2012, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Somebody gave me some Joyce Meyer tapes, and I was devouring them. And then not too long after that, I started listening to Keith Moore, and I was devouring his downloads and resources, like devouring them, listening to them like insane amounts. I mean, I can't even tell you, hundreds and hundreds of hours of their stuff. And I started like, oh my gosh, like it's my thoughts and my words make a difference in my life, and they have impact in my life, and who I hang around with makes a difference in my life. Like these things to me now are like so common sense, but it wasn't common sense for me before. Like I didn't know that. And I didn't know the importance of it, right? Enough to focus on it. So listen to people that have a big vision, that have what you're wanting, what you're after, and that believe you can overcome. They believe you can overcome, and that you're created by God, and he did the ultimate thing to give you freedom, so nothing can have a hold on you. Nothing can have a hold on you. And when you get that in your mind, then you realize with him, all things are possible. So if you want to start saving so you can pivot from the job that you're at to starting a business and start working it on the weekends and start working it at night until you can, eventually more than replace that income, and maybe work them both for a while until then you can go and just do that business and do whatever it is you want to do. Maybe you want to start investing or something like that, but that job is killing you and sucking your soul and you want to do something different. So start listening to people. Don't just sit around and complain with your friends that are stuck in the same thing. Oh, it's so hard to make it. Everything's so hard. Oh my gosh. That's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. I'm not saying you can't talk to your friends or whatever, but like you got to change the current. You got to change the direction of where you're going. So realize that's your problem. Cry out to God for change. Start listening to people, something else, put something else in you, something counter what it is that is going on with you. Okay. A lot, like devour it. Okay. And then for me, like every instance may be a little different, but for me, like I had to stop hanging around people that drank all the time. Like I couldn't just like meet people here and there that drank all the time. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I couldn't keep going to the bar on Friday night, on Wednesday night, and expect to not be hungover. I had to change my habits, and I had to change the people I was around. And it was hard. You feel bored out of your mind. You're at home and you're bored. You're like, it feels like the walls are closing in and you just want to go do what you're used to doing, but you can't, because it's life or death. So you have to change the people that you're around. And that may mean being alone for a good period of time. And it's worth it. Okay. Until you can find new people that are life-giving and all that kind of stuff. Right. And some relationships you're just putting on pause, right? Like there's places and things. I mean, there's places I'll never go back to or never do, people I'll never hang out with again, but there's certain places that like I can totally go back to, people I can be around now that I couldn't for a really long time. But now I'm strong enough and it's okay. And I'm not tempted to get wasted anymore. It's not a temptation for me anymore. If I'm around somebody that's having a beer or something, I'm not going to, find myself drink 10 beers all of a sudden. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's not there anymore. Right. But you've got to change your surroundings of the people that you're around. Okay. And prayer, spiritual power. The Holy Spirit broke addiction off of my life in this instance for me. It was addiction that got broken off of my life. And I had someone pray for me, and I had an encounter with the Holy Spirit, and the addiction broke off of my life. There was like a power that came. There was a spiritual like pull and tie on my life, and it was broken in the spirit, and it changed. It made things so much easier for me. I still had to do everything I just said, but it made it so much easier. It was like there was like a ball, like a chain with a weight on my ankle that was removed. Okay. So get around people that believe in the power of God, that can pray for you. If you have fear about starting a business, if you have fear about going after something that you want to go after, if you just think I'll never not be able to drink, get around people that know that's not true. Let me tell you, there's a day that I would have never thought, because I failed so many times. I just didn't know if it would ever happen. But it happened. And I'm telling you, no matter what you're struggling with, no matter what limitations you have, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You put your mind to it. You start getting the right messages inside of you. You start listening to the right people, people that want to do great things, not critics, not people that are hopeless. I tell you, nowadays there's so many voices and so many things coming at you. One of the things that I 100% is a must if I'm listening to someone, whether it's about the economy or America, motivation, anything like that. If at the end I don't have hope, I'm not listening to you. I don't care. It's so easy to spout off facts and this and that, and then all the conspiracy stuff. And I'm not talking about conspiracy stuff that's not a conspiracy. I'm talking about where you think everything is bad, where you think everything is evil and bad. That is a spirit. And it is here trying to steal every single piece of joy from you that there is. All the cults have it. Like you can't, whatever different flavor, you can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate your birthday. You can't celebrate anything. Like you just can't celebrate anything. And trust me, I know there's different pagan roots and this and that and whatever. But if you go down that road, the devil will steal everything good from you, and you won't be okay with anybody. Nobody's good enough for you. No one's good enough for you. Nothing's good enough for you. And you can just go be miserable alone. And that spirit is terrible. And I'm very well acquainted with it because it was on the back of my family for a really long time. It's still stealing from many, many parts of my family. And I can see it coming from a mile away. And I absolutely loathe it and detest it, because God is a God of hope. He's a God of joy. And he's a God of connection, and he's a God of honor. He wants us to honor people, not the devil. He wants us to call out things, he absolutely does, but not this picking apart of the church and people going after things and doing things. People talk, if somebody just doesn't fit perfectly into their box, they just throw them under the bus, and it's like, well, what is it that you're doing? I want to read you a quote. It's you've probably heard it before, maybe, but it is so good. One moment. Okay. The Man in the Arena. It's Theodore Roosevelt. If you haven't heard it, it's awesome. It says, the man in the arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The critic belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. But there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So I just love that quote because it puts so much of that away, right? Like, so not being just tearing people down and being a critic when people are actually doing amazing things, but you don't think they're doing them up to your standards. So blah, 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 blah. Anyway, side note. So get around people that believe in the power of God and can pray for you. Don't, just be complaining and picking everybody apart, right? Find unity. Jesus said that we'll know each other by our love for one another. Okay. So know there's a problem. Cry out to God for change. Feed yourself with amazing people that feed you and lift you up. Like I told you, I listened to Joyce Meyer and Keith Moore. Amazing people, right? There's so many amazing people out there that give you hope, that inspire you. Somebody I listen to right now, if you listened last week, I listen to Grant Cardone all the time. He's not a Joyce Meyer or a Keith Moore, but he is doing incredible things in financial space and that. And you have to listen to people that have actually done something that you're trying to do. You can't teach somebody something you haven't done, and you can't learn something from somebody that hasn't done it, right? So if you're needing freedom, if you're needing, business development, find somebody that has done that and that you can feed from and learn from. And then change your habits, change the places you go. Literally, the places, the spaces that you go, change those things. Don't be around doubt. Don't be around complaining. Think, like in my case, don't go to the bar. Don't meet up with somebody that has a huge drinking problem and have lunch with them, right? Do things that are good for you, and it's going to be hard. You're changing literally the way of your life. Like these things are paths, they're brain trails. Like think of like a forest, a jungle. These are paths they're clear. It's easy to go down them, but you're turning off and you're going down a different path that is not clear. You have to take out your machete and you have to clear a path, and it's going to take effort. It's going to take effort, and it's not easy, but you can do it. God is with you. He made you for this. And then the next thing, find people that believe in the power of God, that can pray with you, that can partner with you, that can champion you, that are going to be like, oh, you want to start your own business? Oh, businesses fail. No, find somebody that's like, you're going to be great at that. You're going to do so good. You're going to be amazing at that. And if you don't have anybody around you, I'm not saying you need to just like throw your family and friends away, but maybe you need to limit the time you hang out with them, and you need to feed on other things, and you need to get in spaces where people are motivated and wanting to do good things. Okay. You're not broken. God made you. You're not broken. And when you're around the right people and you have the right things coming into you, I quit drinking, changed that addiction, doesn't control my life. And I did it not, I mean, I have an amazing friend who went through the whole AA thing and it was great. But like, if you think I'm an alcoholic, chances are you're going to always have a problem with alcohol. The success rate of Alcoholics Anonymous is horribly low. It's low because you're literally saying, I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not. I had a horrible friend group. I was raised around addiction. I saw it. That's what I saw. And then I made really bad choices, made bad habits, and was around it. And that was just my go-to. That was the way I functioned. But I don't anymore, and I'm not an alcoholic. I had to, obviously, there was a long time I had to be like, no, like I had to change. Like with anything, you have to change. You have to be, it's serious. It is serious. It's life or death. Okay. But chances are, if you're confessing, I'm an alcoholic, it's like I'm a thief. You're going to be a thief. You're not a thief. Go get a job. Stop it. Okay. And do things that will help you. Like do these things. Okay. And then get around people that believe in God and continue that and build community and find people that just believe in you so much, and you believe in them, and they do things, and you root for each other and all that, and get mentors, right? Even if they're virtual mentors, like I told you, Keith Moore was a huge mentor for me. I think I talked to him for like 2 seconds one time, like hi, like it was like a greeting. Like but I listened to his stuff. Okay. Grant Cardone is a mentor for me right now. Find mentors and pour into yourself, pour into yourself, pour into yourself. If you're just going with the flow, you're going to end up where everybody else is, and you're not going to break cycles and habits that you want to break. So growth has always been so important to me, growing, developing, with the Lord and his grace and people. I've made huge changes, but I have a long way to go. I want to make so many changes. There's things that so many things I want to conquer. But I know it's possible without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm going after my goals, and I want you to go after your goals, and you can do it. I believe in you. God believes in you. With him, you can do all things. You are absolutely incredible. Literally, the breath of God is inside of you. You were created in the image of God, and there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing. If it's in line with the purpose he's created you for, there's nothing you can't do. And he has given you freedom from fear, freedom from anxiety, freedom from settling, freedom from addiction. It's yours. Okay. So that's all I have for today. I can't wait to have some awesome guests on soon. I've been with you guys by myself for a while, but it's been super fun. So love you guys. And